This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, nerds. I'm Mark Weber, and you're listening to A Graphic Conversation, the bi-weekly podcast where we read, discuss, and somewhat review/recommend the best and hopefully not the worst in graphic novels. I am joined as I am every week by the original man-child, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And for this one, we read Teen Titans, a kid's game, which is a very appropriate title for it. And I totally get why,
because they were kids,
but it's fun.
Because they were kids, Mark.
Yeah, it's fun. So if you're new to this podcast, welcome. We're glad to have you. You know, like I said, we read this graphic novel. We're going to talk about it for a little bit. Spoiler free at first, and we'll warn you before we get to a spoiler zone. And we hope that you join in on the conversation. And down below in the comment section, of course, let me do a little bit of housekeeping real fast. Please head to patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast because you can get a graphic conversation a week early, which is always exciting. It's your way to help support us to do bigger and better things. And also the Patreon money, some of that money goes to buying the books. So that way we have them to actually read them.
Actually, every single one that we bought this was
Patreon money. So
thanks to our patrons.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to head to mostvaluablepodcast.com. That's a good spot to see everything that's going on, but of course to also go and find t-shirts, MVP t-shirts. You can find them, you can buy them, and then you can wear it and show off to the world how much you love Most Valuable Podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod, at Ricky Widmer, at the with two E's, Mark Weber.
Yeah, not the.
That guy in Milwaukee, I don't care about him very much. And beyond that too, hit the like button, hit the sub button if you haven't done it already, and give us a 5-star review on iTunes because that really helps people find us. It helps them when you rate and you review all that stuff, so that way they know that I should listen to this podcast. But first of all, let's talk about a kid's game. I'm gonna really quickly read a quick little thing about it before we get to it.
Mark. Do it to it.
And hopefully, unlike last time, reading some of these. Hopefully there's no spoilers in the actual thing. It happens sometimes. It happens multiple times.
Well, the one thing I will say is we record these out of order. So Mark says last time. For you guys listening, it will be next time.
Although it probably will be last time as well. Because like I said, these happen all the time. They really spoil things they shouldn't. The Teen Titans have always been about the next generation of hero, being trained to one day succeed their adult role models. In the wake of the devastating death of Toria and the disbanding of Young Justice, Cyborg thinks it's time to get back to basics. Joining him are Starfire and Raven as they decide to mentor those surviving teens, Robin, Superboy, Impulse, and Wonder Girl. While the reluctant heroes come to hear their game plan, Deathstroke arrives on the scene and immediately threatens to derail Cyborg's dream. Are these champions ready for the deadliest mercenary on Earth? And what secret is Deathstroke hiding? Fun stuff. I think that when it comes to a Teen Titans, anything, I always am going to think of the TV show.
Exactly. No, that's me too. Like, it is the cartoon that we grew up on, the Teen Titans.
Yeah, not
that's
Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, no.
Before Teen Titans Go.
And Teen Titans Go, funny thing about that, I've talked about that with Johnny, because they're coming out with a movie this year as well for Teen Titans Go. And I'm like, we should go and review it. And he goes, no, you're going by yourself. He's like, I am not going to Teen Titans Go. He put his foot down. So that might be a review. If we do it, I'm doing it by myself.
Are you going to go in trench coat,
trench coat.
Sit in the back.
No one knows I'm there. But yeah, I think of the Teen Titans series that we grew up on as kids on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. And, with that being said of what we all think of, what's your expectations coming into Teen Titans, a kid's game?
Well, coming into it, I was expecting that I'd like this because this is a perfect kind of swirling of what Ricky's all about with comics. First, it's a DC comic, which DC's my jam. Don't let the Marvel shirt fool you. I am a DC fanboy through and through. Second, I love the Teen Titans. But then third, I love Jeff Johns. I love Jeff Johns' stories. I love what he does with them. And I was excited for this one because I'd never read it before. It wasn't like one where I'm going back into the archives, but like when we read Hush from the first ever A Graphic Conversation, I had read that one before. So that was a reread for me. This was not.
And for Jeff Johns fans out there, this is Jeff Johns. 2 weeks from now when we do read Aquaman, we'll talk about that.
We're reading a lot of Jeff Johns.
Yep,
a lot of Jeff Johns.
We're fans. I think for me, you know, I expect something fun when it comes to Teen Titans. I mean, it's fun. It's lighthearted. It always has that little bit of. I don't want to call it for kids, but it definitely has that. You know, it's geared towards that. You can still enjoy it. It's like a Disney movie. Yeah. You can still enjoy it if you're not a kid, but it does have a little bit of that flavor to it. So I do expect it to be lighthearted. I expect it to be fun.
Isn't that supposed to be? I get that superheroes, like especially the cartoon side, is supposed to be geared towards the kid side. Like that's what we were marketed when we were watching it. But isn't Teen Titans a little bit more kind of marketed a little bit for that younger side?
Yeah, I mean,
because it's like, oh my God, I could be one of the Teen Titans.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You're in high school.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this is very different than, you know, when earlier in the season we read Deadpool. Yeah, that is not for kids. You know,
no.
I mean, Infinity Wars when we were reading, when we're reading the Infinity Gauntlet, for that's not necessarily for kids either.
A little bit of a snap there.
Although, I mean, the movies, you know, borderline is. Definitely, like, Why the Last Man and Morning Glories are not for kids.
Especially not Morning Glories.
Yeah.
Especially not Morning Glories.
It gets a little bloody. So, you know, it's the kind of thing where this definitely is. And, it, you know, it works for that. It is what it is. And I think you had the art style, you know, when we compare that to some of the other books that we've read this season, the art style is classic comic. It does feel just very, you know, fun, what you expect when you pick up an issue, and there you go. When you read any kind of Marvel type of thing, it's not that beautiful artwork that we've seen before.
You mean DC?
DC. I mean, Marvel works too.
Don't be disrespecting the DC.
You're wearing the Marvel shirt.
I know. I don't have enough DC shirts.
Yeah.
I don't have. I got to get some more DC shirts, but you know those cost. It's cost moolah.
Yeah.
And I know Dave, he's one of the ones when I go and buy my big T-shirt orders, he's the one that kind of judges me for that.
Yeah. Well, you know, this one when it comes to art, it does remind me of what we had just done with Ant-Man Second Chance Man 2 weeks ago, where it is just that kind of, I don't want to say there's nothing special about the art, because I think that's a little dumb. I mean, there's always something special about comic book art, but it's that kind of thing where it doesn't necessarily have that standing out from something else. It does just feel, you know, like comic book art. And I think that's the kind of thing with a thing that's geared towards younger kids, because they're trying to say, start here and spread off into other things. They want it to feel accessible to everybody. And this, I think, is accessible. You know, do you think people should read this book, Ricky?
I do. This is one where if you like the Teen Titans, you like DC, you just like superheroes in general, this is one that you should read.
And who do you think is for?
Who is it for? Anyone, like I said, anyone who likes a superhero comic, if you like the DC characters, you like especially the Teen Titans and Young Justice characters. Yeah. Because I wasn't expecting that with, I know I saw like Superboy on the cover and stuff, but this is more of like the Young Justice characters infused with the Teen Titans characters. And I'm glad we read this. Because, yeah, I know we put it on there because the Teen Titans TV series live action is going to be coming out soon. But also, Young Justice, the new season, comes out as well. So we're hitting two birds with one stone without even trying to do it.
Exactly. And for me, I kind of feel like I think anybody can enjoy this. It is definitely...
It isn't targeted at one demographic. Like, this is exactly
I would debate that a little bit.
Like, you got to like superhero stuff, but like
no,
that
I
to
mean,
me
like...
is...
There's a lot of angst in this book. A lot of teenage angst.
Maybe I wasn't bothered by it, so maybe
I wasn't
that's why
bothered
like that.
by it, but
you can see where people would get annoyed by it.
If you're like the ages 13 to like 19,
then this is
it
going to be right up
speaks
your
to you
alley.
a little bit more. You know, I think about like when I was an angsty teen.
Well, I'm constantly living in those days, man.
I mean, I still
Never
listen.
wanna
I
leave
still
'em.
listen to emo music.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know, I think about being an angsty teen, and I'm like, I would have really enjoyed this if I was still in high school. Not that I didn't enjoy it now, but it would have taken it to the next level. I think with that. So we'll be going into spoiler zone, I think, pretty soon because I'm excited to talk about some of the story stuff here. Anything that you want to talk about before we get into spoiler mode?
You know, for this one, the one thing that I want to mention before we go into spoiler mode is if you are expecting, like I said, because this is Young Justice, because this is Teen Titans Together, I was at first coming into this thinking it was more Teen Titans style. So I was expecting the Dick Grayson, the Starfire, the Cyborg, the Beast Boy, the Raven. And then I was quietly thrown back a little bit when it was like, well, okay, all right, this is more Superboy, more Dick Grayson, more Wonder Woman, more Young Justice style. So don't get thrown off at the beginning when it's more Young Justice cast and about them, and then they bring in the Teen Titans periodically.
Yeah. So with that being said, we will go ahead and give you the warning now that we are now going to be moving into the spoiler zone. So please press pause if you want to listen, or if you want to read it. If you don't want to read it and you're just here for the conversation, or you already did it, awesome. You don't have to worry about it. You can just continue on. But if you want to read it, hit pause now. So welcome to the spoiler zone, Ricky. Welcome to the spoiler zone, everybody.
Spoiler zone.
So let's dive in. All right. You get the perfect segue talking about at the beginning. You're kind of focused a little bit more on Young Justice characters. Did that throw you off? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
Like a little bit. I didn't. I want to say I didn't not like it, but it really right away I was like, oh, well, you know, I was because if I'm not mistaken, it starts off. It doesn't start off with Superboy. Does it?
It does.
Because I was thinking, I thought it
goes Superboy, then it goes Robin.
That's what I thought.
Then it goes, and Robin's is like one page.
See, but
then it goes to Flash.
I liked Robin's though. Like Robin to me, I was like, because at first I'm like, all right, Superboy, but then when Robin came in, I don't know why my brain just snapped to Dick Grayson. And then,
it makes sense. I mean, it's Teen Titans.
Yeah, and then like coming out, I'm like, all right, it's weird that Dick Grayson is with like Superboy and Wonder Girl. It didn't click right away. But the thing that I wouldn't say bothered me, but kind of to go off of what you said with the teenage angst, it was a lot of right away, especially with Superboy. Like Superboy's arc and like you said, Wonder Girl's arc in this is a lot of, and for me personally, I tap into this because my personality, even now as a 28-year-old, is the same kind of mindset of don't tell me what to do, Mom. Don't tell me what to do, Dad. Like, I'm the same way where I was telling my mom this actually today of like, I don't know what it is with my brain, but if I'm not 100% sold that I want to do it in here, then if Mark tells me you should do this, my brain then goes, well, no, fuck you, I ain't going to do it. Yeah. So, like, for me, I could relate to that, but it was a lot of that early on of, like, don't tell me what to do, Superman. You're not my dad. You're not my dad. I don't like Smallville. I don't want to be here.
I'm only half your clone.
Yeah, I'm only half your clone.
Yeah.
And then flies off.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is quite a bit with that because it starts out with Superboy being like, I don't like my life.
Because Superboy's half Clark, half Lex Luthor, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And that's revealed in this.
Good thing we're in spoiler.
By mystery person.
Yes.
And
by Lex.
Yeah, by Lex Luthor himself. And as soon as they said that, and they're like, "Who told you this?" I mean, like Lex Luthor. It's got to be Lex Luthor. Who else would it be? I just think, okay, I just really, really want a spin-off, like just after school special, late night sitcom of Clark Kent, Lex Luthor being just two gay dads raising their kid, just raising their kid together, their clone.
Kind of like on Family when they do shoving buddies.
Yeah. I just want it to happen. I think it'd be very entertaining.
Raising Superboy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like 2.5 Men, but the DC Comics side.
There's the old TV show on Fox, Raising Hope, Raising Superboy. Superboy, what was his name? It's not Connor.
Connor Kang.
Yeah. Connor Kent. That's a difficult one to say.
Instead of Clark Kent.
Yeah. Clark Kent rolls off the tongue a lot better than Connor Kent. And anyways, yeah, I mean, they have that. Robin's is so much just like a...
Robin, I will say, Tim Drake in this one, my favorite character.
Really?
No, I would say my favorite, because the one scene that I love the most, it's a one little scene, but it's him, Wonder Girl, and Superboy. Yeah. And Starfire or Cyborg, I can't remember who, said, don't go and do that. You can't go out there and chase them.
Starfire.
And then they're like, what are you doing? He goes... I sneak out all the time. Do you think Batman knows what I do half the time? And then he just opens it and they go out the window.
To which I enjoyed that part, but I'm thinking like, Batman knows you're sneaking out.
Oh, he knows. But,
he knows you're sneaking out.
Batman's that dad where it's like, all right, I'm going to let you make that mistake.
Right.
Because that's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know how I'm not the biggest... I don't know. Of the people in this, Tim Drake wasn't my
Who was your
big
favorite?
one. Well, if it's Teen Titans, it's always Beast Boy. Beast Boy's
no,
always
but I mean,
the
like
coolest.
in this story, who was your favorite?
Beast Boy's always, Beast Boy's always the best.
Beast Boy, I was surprised. He was a little raunchy in this one.
Yeah.
A lot more raunchy than I expected.
He's a young adult now.
Yeah.
Beast Boy. So he's going to go for it and just make sex
the first
sex
time
jokes
he
about
was
everybody
making
possible.
sex jokes at Starfire. I was like, whoa, all right, this is where we're going here. Wasn't expecting this.
I mentioned this to you before. I do think it's so funny that this is Teen Titans.
Yes.
And damn, is Starfire sexualized.
Well, I mean, they're hitting their target audience. You said 13 to 19.
Oh, no. I mean, it's a comic
Most
book.
likely boys. I'm sorry.
I mean, let's also mention the other thing that is going to sound creepy, but there's like, it's the elephant in the room if you haven't, it's not really an elephant in the room, but she's on the cover and she's only in like 3 panels. Raven is barely in this at all.
You get side boob, though.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. So they have this... Like, okay, she's here, and she's only here for, like, 2 pages or something like that. But they make sure that you get a scene where you see a shit ton of side boob. And when I say a shit ton, like, I think
it's a good part
I think
of the panel.
I'm never going to not think of the animated series with this, where, Raven is this teeny tiny little stick figure. Same thing with Starfire. Teeny tiny little stick figure.
Yeah.
And this, it's like, wow, that was a lot of boob that I just saw.
Look at those gazongas.
Like... I just sit there and I'm like, and I totally get it. It's the demographic, but I'm like, something about it being Teen Titans feels weird.
And it's also the kind of, you get this in video games as well, like Monster Hunter World, where it's like the guy armor and it's like freaking armor and actual, and that's the girl one. Ooh, skippy bikini.
Well, even like something like
wait, we're talking about the same armor here? It doesn't even cover anything.
There's literally a line in Persona 5 where if you've played it, you know that when you go into the place where you do your fighting, everybody is in their thief outfits, and the girls' thief outfits are all like latex. And there's literally a comment where someone goes like, wow, the girls' outfits are all so kinky. And it's just like, hey, that's a superhero thing, that's a comic thing, that's a movie thing, that's a video games thing.
It's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
We could get into that.
But it just feels weird when it's Teen Titans.
Yeah, but in this one, you get the thing that and maybe I'm wrong, I got that vibe with Starfire and Raven, who are obviously older.
Yeah.
Didn't get it so much with Donna Troy. Or not Donna Troy, with Cassidy.
Cassie, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she still
was
get a little
there,
bit.
but it wasn't as much as Starfire.
Her costume is way less skimpy, but still a little skimpy.
A little bit, but I mean, it wasn't as bad, I would say.
I agree. It's not as bad as Starfire.
Yeah. At least
really
Starfire in this one, you're like, okay, that's an adult.
Yeah, she's an adult. She's basically there.
A young adult.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. Anyways, to move away from that, story-wise...
You know what part of the story I love the most? Well,
sure.
It was one of those where I went, holy shit, wasn't expecting that to happen. When Deathstroke just went, basically, I'm going to fucking blow your leg off. Where he stopped Kid Flash and then shot him in the leg.
That was cool. I liked it.
I was like, oh, man, wasn't expecting him to shoot him in the leg.
Right? I liked it.
Put the stakes on him.
Yeah, it showed a little bit of, hey, we're willing to be bold here.
Yeah.
Now, we're not George R.R. Martin.
No,
we're
not
just
going to kill him
Kid
off.
Flash, because that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been fantastic. I was reading a book the other day where it got to a moment where it was like, wow, these main characters are about to die. And then they didn't. And I was like, you know, because Game of Thrones ruins you when you're just like,
him in like a
George
bear
R. R.
trap?
Martin, he would have gotten him.
Didn't he like get him in a bear trap and then shoot his leg with the shotgun?
Bear trap? I don't remember a bear trap.
While you talk, I'll look it up. I'll find it.
You know, yeah, George R. R. Martin ruins everything for you when you think that every main character should just die.
Hey, I like this one, and he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. I think that for me, story wise, I like Deathstroke's thing, and I like the whole idea of
such a badass.
You know, well, yeah, he is a badass character, but I love the idea of the mind control element and the body, you know, not body snatcher, but you know, body swapping going on and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was kind of cool. I like that it came down to two of the, hey, we can talk to him. You know, our old buddy here, our old member of the team. We can actually talk and we can have that conversation to try and stop him. I think it's a little, I don't know, it felt a little cop-out-y that the way they solved it was just Raven showed up for a second and said, I got you. I got rid of you. Problem solved.
Well, and
you know, a little easy.
I wonder with Raven, because this is a story when I was looking into it a little bit more, so how it works in the whole kind of story of things. So Graduation Day comes before this. So this is in Graduation Day, that's where Donna Troy dies, and you have all that. The one that follows this is, I think it's called Lost Family or Family Lost. And that one, I wonder if as they go on to the next one, if Raven shows up more. However,
I'm sure she has to.
Looking at the cover, I was a little misled because seeing Raven up there in her like typical pose, I thought she was going to be in this more than she was. And looking,
I just thought it felt a little easy that she just showed up at the right time, took away the bad guy, and problem solved.
And even the line that Deathstroke, like the line that Deathstroke gave too, because I found the part in the story where it wasn't a bear trap or anything. I don't know why I thought that, but he just kind of stopped him and put the shotgun to his knee.
Yeah.
Oh, and just the line of, tell the Titans kids shouldn't wear costumes.
Yeah.
Boom, kneecap.
And I love that motivation, whether it was Deathstroke or, you know, the mind control element of it. Either
Jericho.
way, it works. Jericho. I love the idea of the enemy's motivation being, the last time you guys did this, it ended really badly. Why are you doing it again?
Yeah.
Don't. And it's actually a good motivation. It's saying, you know, I'm trying to protect these kids in my own weird, sick, twisted way. I'm trying to protect you guys because the bad things are going to happen to you. I like that. I like that kind of thing. You know me. I love a villain that has an actual good motivation.
I totally forgot about it. It was an oh fuck moment too, where right after we learn like I'm Jericho and that he got which I first thought of Chris Jericho, the wrestler. I am Jericho.
There you go.
But the next page where he basically throws the sword right through Cyborg's eye, right through his mechanical eye, and I was like, it was one of those things where I didn't think to myself like, oh, they're just now doing that to do that. I literally was like, holy crap, what's going to happen to Cyborg? Because usually with the hero, it's, oh, we got some cuts and some dings, but nothing really happens. Whereas this, I'm going to take my sword and just throw it right through your eye.
Now, of course, it is the one that's very safe to do that to.
It's the mechanical eye, not the real eye.
And he just, like, moments later was like, I'm good. I'm good to go. You know, it's interesting to me in this book where the Jericho stuff really doesn't last that long. They get around it pretty quickly.
I think it's to tie the Graduation Day to a kid's game.
It's to make it all work. But I think it's interesting how the main focus of this is that teenage angst, don't tell me what to do, Mom. You know, and it goes from the very beginning, in the middle with the Jericho stuff, when they're like, you guys stay here, we'll take care of it. They
and they're
sneak
like,
out.
no, we're not sticking there. We got to go after Bart because Bart's got his leg shot off.
You know, They did that. And there was a second where I really thought that they were going to go so bold to go the other direction with Flash that happens sometimes when Flash gets a little too messed up, where he can't run anymore, and they just use the mental capacity, because that's always the thing that people forget with Flash, this is really good too.
Didn't they try to do that with him reading all the books, though?
Well, I thought they were going to go full on and be like, oh, he's not going to be able to run anymore.
Because he's doing that, like he's reading all the books.
And I thought it was setting it up really, really well, because they were talking about how, oh, he's so scatterbrained, you can't trust him. All he's got is the speed. That's all he's got. He's a speedster, and that's it.
Because in this one, and it took me a little bit to get used to it because I'm a Barry Allen guy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not Barry Allen.
It's Wally West at the beginning. Wally West is the Flash here.
Yeah. So I really thought that they were going to set it up to where he's like, they're saying all he's got is this, and they're going to take it away, and now he's going to just be all mental. Yeah. And he's going to help them out in that sense.
Kind of like an Oracle situation on the Batman side.
They didn't go that direction. No. And I'm okay with them not going that direction. I just thought they were going to be, I was like, wow, this is going in a really cool direction. It didn't go that way. But really it comes down to that. And then there's the whole climax at the end where Wonder Woman shows up and is really pissed off that Wonder Girl is there. And then Starfire is mad, taking out her anger on Wonder Woman. And then the Justice League shows up in almost entirety. And, there's just this weird kids fighting their parents moment.
I do like the moment, though, between Dick Grayson and Robin towards the end, like when that happened, because I kind of got this vibe of like, Dick Grayson as Nightwing in this, basically kind of without saying it exactly, just kind of giving that Robin, like, you got to step up because you're the leader.
Yeah.
You're the leader everyone's going to look up to if this team is going to work. Kind of like how he had to do when he was Robin and he was the leader of the
Which
Teen
is interesting,
Titans.
too, because when you look at the group right now, I wouldn't expect Robin to be the leader of this group.
You would expect Superboy because he's Superman.
I actually would expect Cyborg to do it because he's the one who started it.
But
he's the one who got everybody together, so you almost expect him to be the one to take it on.
Cyborg to me is almost like to go Power Rangers on this. Cyborg is more like the Zordon. I'm going to bring you together. I'm going to be your kind of mentor. But when you're out there, you're thick in it, you're in the shit. Jason is Robin. Robin's your Jason, whereas Superboy might be your Tommy, your White Ranger.
It's just what I don't know. I didn't get the vibe.
Because you got the love connection, too, between Superboy and Wonder Girl, too.
Yeah. I just didn't get a vibe from this Robin that he is a leader.
Because he's not yet.
He's not doing anything yet.
He still has to develop into that.
Yeah, which is fine, but there's no, I didn't feel any hints at it.
Let me see it again. This is the one thing I hate about, for the audio listeners, we're actually handing back the hard copy.
As opposed to when we, have it on Comixology, where we both just have it. I think... And we can even go back so far when we both used to just buy it ourselves.
We did.
That was kind of a waste.
Back in the day.
Why we didn't, trade off. But I don't know with that. It's just kind of that type of a thing. I have a question for you as being the true Batman lover here. Not that I don't love Batman, but with this Robin, Tim Drake, what is the... I was able to find out Batman's secret identity. I don't know that story. Is that something I should know?
Well, with Tim Drake, it was always, and I'm going more animated series side, where Tim Drake was found by Batman, where he was found, and it wasn't like a Batman told him what it is. He had to kind of figure it out, like, what is he? And he's more of to me, where... Dick Grayson was more of the fighter to me.
Yeah.
Tim Drake, well, actually, no, Damian Wade would be more of the fighter because he's got that Ra's al Ghul assassin rage. Tim Drake was more of the detective, which was closest to Batman.
Because they just make that reference at one point of, how he is like one of the only people who's figured out Batman's identity. And I was just sitting there like, I don't know that story. I don't remember that. I just was wondering because I know you're the Batman lover.
I'm looking up the exact one. So let's see. Jack Drake, Dick Grayson, Tim and his family bore witness to the murder of Dick's family. Da da da. If I find it, I will.
And it's not super important. I was just wondering. As we're moving along here, I'll go ahead and start first because you're looking at stuff.
Yeah, I want to find that part.
My favorite thing from this book so far, favorite thing I think I would probably have to say is the Robin twist of, all right, we're going to listen to Starfire. We're not listening to Starfire. We're getting out of here. That's probably my favorite thing I think that happened. Because you really did they did a good job of convincing you of like, Robin's just playing along, My least favorite thing I think is I really didn't enjoy the parents versus kid fight. It really didn't do anything for me. It was just this culmination of all the angst bursting out, and they're fighting each other, and there's this weird also like parental abuse thing going on at the same time.
Well, and that's where that leads into, because I found it exactly. It wasn't necessarily you need to take on the mantle. It was because the panel goes, this is all Dick Grayson at this point. If they need you, you want these kids to open up to you, respect their privacy. Here at the tower, let them handle things on their own no matter what. I'll give Robin a lift to Gotham, Batman. He can skip the lecture tonight. When
he's talking, he's talking to the parents,
and then just Batman. Fine,
parents.
Well, and I mean, I can get that parent-kid thing, but at the same time, like, for me, I bought into that because it's also like you got to think of what happened, especially like when you blew off Bart Allen's kneecap. We've done this before. The kids have failed. And the Justice League is like, we can't trust them. We do not want them getting hurt. Where Grayson Allen steps in and goes, hey, I'm going to be the voice of reason. Cut your shit. Give them some freedom. Let them learn how you learn. Like, looking at Batman, there was no one there to tell Batman what to do when he was starting out. He had to fail. He had to fall back. And that's
most times he wasn't starting as a kid, but
to
be fair.
It was a younger, less experienced Batman, though. He was still a young playboy.
I'm not fighting any of that. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I just am saying I don't like the whole parents fighting their dad, their children. To me. And I do think it's hilarious, though. Someone's going to get mad at me in the comment section, maybe call me a social justice warrior or whatever, but it is funny to me that the only two black people end up being the ones that go against each other, and there's no relation to Cyborg and Green Lantern. It just happens that they're both black.
It was John Stewart in this one, not Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Which I like John Stewart. I like John Stewart a lot. I mean, no one's going to beat Hal Jordan when it comes to the Green Lantern, but I just thought it was funny that it was like, and you two go against each other, I guess, too, because I guess you guys kind of look alike. But it just didn't. That would be my least favorite. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
My favorite part of this whole thing, I would say, is the Deathstroke part of it, because, like I said, blowing off the kneecap of Wally West.
Yeah, he was BA.
The thing with even the one before that, where it's like you think he's talking to a guy, and then it looks and it's like, holy shit, he killed him. He killed him and his head's on the mantle. Just on the wall. Like, because that was an artist thing and a Jeff Johns wrote it out.
Yeah.
The artist depicted it perfectly.
That is the best art in the whole thing.
Where it's like, you think he's talking to him, but then it's like, holy crap, his head's on the mantle. And then even at the end, the thing that I love the most was that guy, that Wintergreen was his name. Jericho killed him, not Deathstroke.
Yeah.
So Deathstroke came back to it, and the thing that made me go like, holy crap.
This is a great, if you're a fan of Teen Titan, the end of this is great.
Because at the end, and I'll just read the final page because I'm just going to do it, you see Tara come up, and she goes, are you okay? Yes, Rose. I love you, Daddy. Good girl. And they walk off, and I go, give me that. I want and I'm like, oh, the end. I want to read the next one.
Yeah, they do a good job of setting you up for.
Because you were
more.
talking about the animated series when we started. Those were my favorite episodes with the Terra becoming a part of the Teen Titans, learning their secrets, then turning on them and being Daddy's little girl.
Yeah. That's definitely cool. I think an interesting thing with this too, this book in general, is it's interesting how the Deathstroke parts have such a they have such a distinct tone to them.
Because Deathstroke is the main villain, I would say, for the teens.
Oh, without a doubt. They have such a distinct tone, which is separate from the tone of the rest of the book. It's an interesting split.
So you're saying you think the tone of that should have been more... I wanted more of that than the, hey, I'm fighting my parents.
I wanted more Deathstroke type of stuff and less, don't tell me what to do, Mom.
Well, did you give your favorite part?
I did. My favorite part was Robin, the
telling
surprise.
Starfire not, don't tell me what to do and just...
Yep. I like it because you really got the idea of Robin's just being lame here. So I appreciate it. And of course, people let us know down below in the comment section what your favorite and what your least favorite part of the book is. So now we get to our favorite time of the podcast, recommendations. Ricky, let's hear it.
You know what? This is one, like I said earlier, this is I'm going to put it in a must read.
All right.
And I would say this isn't going to be like, oh my God, I feel like most of these so far, oh my God, where you can't read that. You don't be like, I've got to read it. But this is one where, get to it sooner than you would get to anything else. Like Ant-Man we did last week. This is going up on the list sooner than last week because this is one. If you love the Titans, though, read it today. Read it today. Read it tomorrow because you will love this if you love love the Teen Titans and they're your favorite heroes.
Yeah, I mean, if you love Teen Titans, you definitely need this. I think this is an interesting one for me on my recommendation.
Just because yours is big because you're against the. If I feel like you're way against the teenage angsty thing,
it's not necessarily that I'm against it. It's just it didn't do anything for me.
Well, it bothered.
It just bored me. Which I think is the way to put it.
With me, I didn't really think of it, and I was just immersed in the story.
Yeah, that part. It's. I think it's the fact that it was reflecting off of the Deathstroke stuff, which was awesome. I was all in on that. Plus, if that's what the whole book was, I would have said this is a must read. Drop what you're doing right now and read this.
Let's be completely honest though. Who's the one mentally that's closer to their demographic? You or I?
Well, you.
Me. Yeah. That's why I am more highly on this one than you might be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Removed.
It's weird. I'm the older one, but I'm still in the mentality of their demographic.
Yeah, once a man child, always a man child,
man. The original man, the OM.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of those things where if it had been just that, I would have loved everything about this. The other part, I was just reading. I'm like, oh, more of this, more of that. Is this going to end at some point? So part of this, I think, is must read. The other part is that, I thought it was boring. So I think you should read it. I think you should put it on the list.
Put it higher than Ant-Man. I would put it higher than Ant-Man, Second Chance Man.
I'd rather read Second Chance Man.
Okay.
But they're very, very close. Read one after the other, basically. So we both think you should read it. So you definitely should if you haven't done it. If you did, fantastic. Let us know down below in the comment section. Ricky, did we miss anything? Anything else?
I don't think that we did. I'm going to make one last swoop through everything to make sure that we
I will say I am very interested. They did a good enough job making me interested in what comes next. Raven was a good one of what's up with the death cult.
I got one. Ooh, no, I got a question for that. That's brother. I believe it's Brother Blood. I was going to ask you, with her coming out of it, are they setting up Trigon for a future series?
Probably.
Trigon's her father, demon father?
They referenced it directly about her
Are they going to set up Trigon in a future, Deathstroke is kind of off and we're going to leave him alone, and then Trigon is the next big baddie
I think
for
there's
them.
a good chance that maybe that's what they're going to go into next, not knowing what they go into next. Comment section's like, oh, surprise!
We got to read what Family Lost. Yeah, Family Lost for that because that continues the storyline.
I feel like that would be the direction they're going. I mean, the title alone, but also the fact that they were specifically referenced, and also there is mention of like, well, what happened to Raven? We got to go find out. So that's obviously the direction they're going in, and I'm very interested in that. You know, they did a good job of making me interested in what comes next, especially because I think that it has to move away from what I was not into. So I would definitely be into that. I hope you guys would also be into that. So next time, we're getting to the end of the season. Yeah, one more?
I got one more thing, and this is me. I'm correcting myself from earlier. I was wrong, I think, with the end of this comic. I don't think that's Tara. Because I saw Rose, and I was like, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's Tara. I think what it is he's taking Rose Wilson, who is Ravager, who becomes the female version of Deathstroke. So she's got Deathstroke mask like down to the nose. She's got 2 swords. He's basically taking her under his wing because her foster parents are dead, I think.
Badass. So definitely a nice catch because someone will probably say something in the comments
Probably
section,
already did, let's be honest.
So in a couple of weeks, we're going to be reading another one. Or if you're on Patreon next week, you'll be able to get Aquaman the Trench. Always exciting to read Aquaman. That's for sure. So just a really quick, knowledge of what this is about. This is another Jeff Johns one. This is essentially bringing back for the New 52 Aquaman, where him and his wife Mara are here dealing with some issues about where they fit in. Are they going to fit into human life? Are they going to fit into Atlantis? What are they going to do? And they are confronted with an enemy from deep below in the sea. And it's going to bring up some issues for Aquaman coming up as he tries to reestablish himself as not a C-list superhero, not a B-list superhero, but an A-list superhero. So definitely come back in 2 weeks when we read Aquaman the Trench. Of course, some more housekeeping stuff. Thank you for, of course, being here. Comment section, let us know what you thought. At Ricky Widmer, at the Mark Weber, or at Most Valuable Pod. Hit that like button and that sub button so you know what else we got going on. There's tons of podcasts here on Most Valuable Podcast. But if you want more nerd stuff, check out the Rick and Johnny podcast, of course. Woo! Don't forget patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcasts. So that way you can help support the show and you can get the episodes early. You also get an extra podcast every month from Most Valuable Podcasts and get yourself an MVP t-shirt. Link down in the description. So go check that out, and we will see you in 2 weeks when we read Aquaman the Trench.